Welcome to the Prosperity Podcast for entrepreneurs who are ready to drop the hustle and earn more. I'm your host, Danielle Amos, business and success coach, certified Proctor Gallagher Institute consultant, and lifestyle entrepreneur. Each week, I'll bring you amazing entrepreneurs who have built wealth, harnessing the power of their mind. Prosperity and money are truly about energy, and I'm on a mission to help you create financial abundance through the power of thought. It's time we started normalizing conversations about money and create the wealth that is yours. Are you ready? Let's do this. Welcome to episode 157 of the Prosperity Practice, the podcast that has you living your most abundant life. My name is Danielle Amos, and I am your host. Today, I'm bringing you a very special guest. His name is Nick Vrban, and Nick is a coach, stepping into being a coach. He's an entrepreneur. At only 24 years old, he's already built a company with over €1 million in revenue. Nick came to us when he was in university. He was a client of mine just a couple of years ago. And he was a university student working construction, knew that he was made for more and didn't have the money, was actually in debt, but jumped into our program anyway, figured out a way to do that, and has since built a company, a multimillion-dollar company, and is about to move to Colombia. And he's showing people how to do the same thing. So Nick is one of our millionaires who have graduated from the Success Society. And I'm really excited to share his story with you today. And just for you to, I invite you to be that fly on the wall as we have this conversation and listen to the beliefs he has, listen to the understanding he has because of the studies that he's done, the way that he was mentored to apply this material to your life. This is the value of mentorship. I have no doubt that Nick was always going to be a successful entrepreneur. Would he have done it by the time he was 24 without mentorship? Not sure. Here's the thing. Mentorship saves you time, money. You get to your goal with ease, with less effort, more fun. Now, enjoy this conversation. And if it resonates, please send us a message and share your questions and comments with both of us on Instagram and share the podcast itself. Thank you for listening. Enjoy. Thank you so much for being here today. I have a very special guest on the show. His name is Nick, and Nick's joining the Prosperity Practice to share with you his experience of how he integrated the material that we teach into his life to completely change his life. I want to introduce you to Nick, and I'm going to ask him to share his story about where he's come from. We're going to talk about how that doesn't define where you're going at all. So welcome, Nick. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, Danielle. Thanks for having me. And to introduce myself, so I'm Nick from Germany. I'm now 24 years old. I came in contact with Bob Proctor like when I was, 19 years old, something like that. And then in the time of Corona, I was starting my business next to my university. I was in university, and I always knew I want to do like bigger stuff. I want to have my own business. Next to university, I was working on construction, and I really felt like I don't want this life. I don't want to have someone to tell me what I have to do. So next to university, I started my own business. And then I think it was 2021, I came in contact with Danielle in March, and I joined, your program. And that was like the beginning of my business. And this time I had a lot of struggles with money. I was only a student, had I earned like €300 a month. And it was hard to start a business from there. But until now I made it.
Yeah.
So
So What's really cool is like you said something and your vibration changed if when you said it, like you were in university, you were working construction, and you knew that you were made for more. You had that like desire inside, that voice telling you like, this isn't for me. I don't want to be told what to do and how to work my days. I mean, like even the way you said it, Nick, you could tell that there was like a decision made inside.
Yes, there. Yeah, inside I knew, because I also learned the stuff from Bob, and I knew what was possible. I was seeing it on Instagram, on YouTube, and I knew it is possible. So I only have to do the decision. And that was also when I joined your program. I was like completely in, okay, not completely in debt, but for me it was completely, I like minus 500 euros, and I was earning a month like 300 euros. And yeah, it was not possible for me to come into your program. But I knew when I don't do the decision, like nothing will change, because I tried it on my own 2 years ago and nothing has changed. It was always month for month, always repeating itself.
Yeah.
And when I did the decision to really join your program, I also raised my vibration, because I knew then when my business went through the roof, and I was able to pay everything off. Because like when I joined, like I even couldn't afford food for myself. Had to go to my parents for stuff like that.
So you made the decision. Like, I'd love for everyone to really get present to this, what Nick did. Like, because on paper, Nick, this sounds a little crazy. You know, if we were like listening and saying, is this a good idea, Nick? Like, you are paying for a program, you're already paying for university, you're 500 euros in debt, you have no money, you're earning 300, the program's more than 300 a month.
Yeah.
So you're going into more debt to do this, and you're having to go to your parents' house to eat. Like, are you sure? You know, like it's really interesting, because most people let their logical mind take them out at that point, but you didn't. You leaned in to the decision and didn't listen to any. I'm sure you didn't even tell anyone, because most people probably would have talked you out of it.
No, I talked to no one about it, just to my business partner. And for me, it was like the most scary thing I've did in the past, but it was like one of the best things I've ever did, because like always now, when I have to do decisions, I'm always thinking back to this point.
Love it.
And I know like 2 years ago when I made the decision, I said like, when I'm able to pay off this program, because when I did the decision, I didn't know how to do it. I can do everything, I said to myself in the past. And that's like what I'm telling me today when I have like bigger challenges. I always thinking back to this time where I was like 500 euros in debt. We're at the beginning of my business, and we're able to pay off the program.
That's so good. And so you made the decision first, you bet on yourself, and then that has become a key pillar in the way that you operate now as a business owner. You're reminding yourself of that time when you jumped in, when you had the courage without knowing the how, just simply on faith.
Yes.
That's huge. So how has that served you now? Because tell people like where you are in your business, because you're definitely not 500 euros in debt anymore.
No, I'm not. So yeah, I have an e-commerce brand. We sell personalized books in Germany, Netherlands, Sweden, Italy, France. So in Europe, and now I have like almost 10 employees. So we are a very nice team. Like all our employees love working for us. That was also always something I was writing down. All my employees love working for us. And like in April, we were with our whole team in Medellin in Colombia. We invited our whole team to a villa, had a nice team event. Last year, we made over 7 figures in revenue.
So
this
over
year.
$1 million, everyone, just to like let that land. He says like over 7 figures, and he's like, yeah, no big deal. I mean, obviously you've calibrated to that kind of revenue and you're just getting started. But I wanted to like interrupt there for a moment, just so we didn't like let that one roll over from 500 euros in debt to building a company in a couple years, Nick, a few
Yes.
short years, where you and your business partner now there's 10 employees, where you're flying everyone to hang out in Colombia in the villa. Like, can we just get present to this? Like, what a life.
Yeah, what a life. I'm very grateful for it. But also all those kind of things we have now in our business are always come back to decision, because when we wanted to book the trip for the whole team, we said like, oh shit, do we have the time for it? Do we have the money for it? And we said, it was also 3 or 4 months ago, and we said, okay, no, we now book the Airbnb. So we make the decision, and then everything else will fall into place. Also with the employees, when we get like new employees, we had also a few struggles because we have to buy our stock and stuff like that. So it's always, when you buy stock of a lot of products, you have to invest a lot of money, and then having like 10 employees, paying for yourself and stuff like that. So there were also a point in our business where we said, from the financial perspective, if you look logically on it, it would be no good decision to now get employees in. But we said, okay, because we think now that way, because of that, we have to get the employees in now, because when we don't get them in now, nothing will change.
Awesome.
So that's like how we do everything in business, and it all comes back to like my past, where I made the decision for the program. And
so good. That's like, it's become a template for you.
Yes.
Like, oh, you're on the right track if you keep operating this way. And it really is that idea that you go first, you make the decision, the universe follows, God follows, like, and you make the decision from the goal achieved self. So not from your current circumstances, not from the current money in the bank, but from the business that you're building in your mind.
Yes.
And then as you make that decision, don't you find that it just like, it forces you to up level in everything, in the way that you perceive yourself, in the way that you operate, in the way that you communicate to your employees, your team? That's
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's uncomfortable, but you grow a lot. Like every month when I look back, I'm thinking like, okay, what kind of person were I like one month ago? And it's like only 30 days ago, but because of this kind of lifestyle, I'm growing that much as a person. It's uncomfortable, but it's like so nice to see, to always look back and see like, yeah, nice journey.
There's change, which is really interesting, because I would say that most people, when they look back 30 days from now, life probably looks very similar to what it looks like.
Yeah.
You're like, this is really important for our listeners, Nick, because it's actually, and I've said this, the clients that are earning millions are the ones who have the courage to constantly be making that quantum leap, to like make a decision before they're ready. And so I've noticed, as I watch, those who do that more often have the most success financially and relationships and all of that, because of what you just said. They're changing, they're adapting, they're growing. It's not the easiest thing to do. Like,
no.
And do you ever have this feeling like, oh my gosh, like, can I just like take it easy and enjoy this for a little rest?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm thinking like, like 1 year ago, how I'm doing life now would always have been my goal. And now I'm thinking like, why can't I just chill? Like,
yeah. I know. I feel that too. So what do you do with that? Like for yourself, when you think, why can't I just chill?
Yeah. In your program, I learned grow or die. So it's like always either way you will grow or you will die. And like, I learned a lot, also a lot of wisdom on the way. And like when I was starting my business, I was too much focused on the goal, and I was always in the future. I was never in the present moment. That's something I really learned for myself the last 1 to 2 years. And I learned that it's about the journey. And yeah, that's why I'm always trying to get better, because I know it's like the best way to live life, and it's like the best journey you will ever have.
Yeah, that's so good. And that wisdom right there is most likely what's driving you to do such cool things with your team. Like
Yeah.
go and, taking everyone to a villa and just like I saw the private jet photo, just to like go for it and have these experiences because that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And just for the experience, because it's like the only thing we can take with us when one day our body will die. Not we will die, our body will die.
Yeah.
Like the money will stay here on earth, but like the experiences we can take with us. So
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah, I so agree with that. And I love, for me personally, I love sharing those experiences. Like a big
Yes.
part of my why is like, how can I have the best possible experience and like bring the people I love and just like take care of everything and not have any worry. Do it when I want, how I want, with who I want. Like
Yes.
really like those questions really light me up. It sounds like you're similar.
Yeah, true. That was also like one of my whys, because I started this business to start a business, because I love the freedom. Now I can work whenever I want. I can work from wherever I want. I can travel whenever I want. I have no one who can tell me anything. Like
Yeah.
also in my city, I don't even have an how to call it, an office. I don't even have an office, because I like to be so free. So I'm always in cafes and work from there. So in a day, I'm like on 3 different places
I
with
love
a lot of different people. So that's yeah, what I love about having your own business, to decide whatever you want to do and then just do it.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. So Nick, 24 years old.
Yes.
Like, honestly. When I think back to what I was doing at 24, it was not earning millions, I can tell you that much. So what's next? Like let's add 20 years to this. Where is Nick at 44? Have you thought that?
44.
Yeah.
That's a good question. About 20 years, I was not thinking. About 10 years, I was thinking.
Sure, give me 10. Give me 10.
Okay, because at 44, I maybe would have a family. In 10 years, I don't think so yet. But like in the next 10 years, I really know, because for now, what my business is not like really my passion. It's like I really love doing it. I love doing it with the people. I love growing through it. But I know my passion is more working closely with people one-on-one, coaching people, like also this material.
Yeah.
So that's what I know, where I'm going deeper into it. So like in 1 month, I will move to Colombia, and there I will have like it will be a new part of my life, where I now moved from my apartment where I started my business. I did my university and everything. I will move from there to Colombia. So it will be a huge change also in myself. And so there I will also start again with playing tennis, because playing tennis was when I was 17 or 18. It was like the thing which made me came in contact with Bob Proctor and the material, because often you learn things in life through pain. And I was very good in playing tennis, but I had a big problem with my backhand. And it was because of my thoughts, because I was too hard to myself, and I had a blockage in my head. I can't even, it was always my best playing the backhand, but my trainer was changing something in my technique. And after that, I couldn't even play. I quit playing tennis and stuff like that. And there I learned, in this young age, I learned, okay, how big is the impact of your thoughts on yourself? Because I knew like 1 month ago, I was playing very good. And now one month later, I'm not playing very good. And there I understood like, okay, how big is the impact of my thoughts on myself? And there I bought the book of The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, because I was trying to understand myself why I can't play tennis anymore. And when I come to Colombia now, I will start again playing tennis, and I want to fight this blockage in myself, which brought me to this point where I am right now.
Wow.
And I think I also, because I love sport, I will also go in. I first try it out for myself, and then I want to go also deep into coaching sport people, this kind of material, visualizing, coming into the present moment, changing things inside, because that's like more my passion. I wanna follow in the next 10 years.
That's amazing. And here's the thing, Nick, like I've said this before to you, you are one of the best students that has ever come through our program. Like Nick had every excuse as to not like study some days, because he'd be in university already studying, and he would stay up to like 2 a.m. just to make sure he got his lesson. And he was so coachable, made sure that there wasn't a day that he didn't study, which is incredible. And this, like, for anyone that wants to be a coach and work with clients, I believe that it's imperative that we walk our talk, that we actually apply it to our own lives to have success. Because if not, I mean, yeah, that's my belief. Like, it's really, really important to be a coach and to a mentor. Like, we've got to try it on ourselves and make sure that we are speaking from experience, that we can walk a person through it. And Nick, like, you have done that. You've proven that time and time again. And I have no doubt that you'll bring it into the sports arena now. What a great idea.
Yes. And yeah, it's very important that you experience it yourself first, because then you will talk out of your heart and people will feel it. When you just talk like things you learned in a book, people will feel it and it will not resonate that much with them. I think that's why I also was attracted to you in the past, because I really felt like what you were talking about, that you've experienced it in your past. And that's why I was following everything you said, and what also Bob said, blindly, without questioning it, because I knew my way hasn't worked. That what you told me in the past, like, your way hasn't worked, so then try mine.
Yeah, that's huge. That was the statement that really got me as well when Bob said that. Like, and how do we know it's not working? Well, look at the results that you're currently getting. And if they're not what you want, then there's something missing in the way. And it's not to make us feel bad. It's just to understand that we're lacking the awareness. And so when we gain the awareness, when we're open, and you said just now, like, you just followed it without any judgment.
Yeah.
So I've often said to people in like a presentation, a live event, I just said this actually a couple of weeks ago. I said, the faster you believe what I say, the faster your life will change, which sounds really like arrogant. And it's true. Like, if the people can just open their mind to these truths and not question it, like, try it on first without any judgment and allow it to change their mind, to change their life, and then decide if it's for you.
Yeah, that's true. Like, the belief is the most important thing. And when you, like, always your mind is listening, and there are like all the old beliefs, it can't come like really deep into yourself, and you can't create this kind of belief. That was also like one of the biggest learning I learned, that I'm not my mind, I'm not my thought. It's like 95% of myself is like, it's like something from the past, like something I learned from my parents, I learned from my school teachers, and all my results are based on that. And when you understand that you are not this kind of program, but you are the consciousness behind it. You're not your body, you are not your mind, you are the consciousness, and you can decide what kind of program you want to install and what kind of program you want to have in yourself, then you can change your future. But when you're like always staying the same, like me, like then every month will be the same, because only 5% in your day is like consciousness.
Yeah.
The 95% is like the old program, which attracts always the same.
And that's huge. And we can change our program every month, which is what you're talking about, like that quick change. And that's how we then collapse time. So I have a feeling, Nick, what you're saying is your 10-year goal can easily be achievable in like 3, because it just shifts. It happens, and it's our mind, it's our paradigm, our reasoning mind that thinks that it's got to take 10 years. Even when we're in this material, we put those kind of timelines. Like Bob would talk about it all the time. Like he would think that it would take so long for the consulting division to grow, but it's just like, again, it's just a paradigm. But if we can accept a new idea, then 100,000 people can join that like that. Well, why not? It's just a number.
Yes.
Yeah. So what are you reading right now, or because you shared quite a few lessons and like wisdom nuggets. Is there something like a particular book that you're really focused on, or a subject that you're focused on right now in your own growth?
So like in the past, when I was in your program, I was reading like all the books Bob and you recommended, but I really have them now very deeply in myself, because I read them like so many times.
Yeah.
And what I'm now going very deeply into, and what I also want to coach to other people in sports, is like coming into the present moment. So I'm reading like the book of Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. That's like, the biggest topic I'm looking into right now, because it's like what I've experienced on myself. It's like such a huge shift when you are like completely present. Like what I told when 2 or 3 years ago, I was always in the future. I was always in my head. But I have now such a nice life, and I just want to enjoy it even more. So that's why I'm working so much to come into the present moment. And when you are really in the present moment, you're pure consciousness, and you're like separated from your mind. And that's what I also want to try out in sport when I come to Medellin and play tennis. I really want to be fully present, because when I was in the past playing tennis, I was always in my head. When I made a bad point or something like that, I was always thinking about it, and like one bad point could screw up like the whole game. What's like very stupid. And that's like things I'm working on right now, to be like fully present, and everything which comes from the outside, because like the outside is the mirror of the inside. That this has no impact on me. So when something bad from the outside comes, I just be present, and I can decide. I'm the consciousness. I can decide what kind of thoughts, feelings, vibrations I tune into.
That reminds me this morning I studied Power of Awareness, the chapter on subjective control. And it's that the ability to be present on the inside, and the difference between the objective world and the subjective world. And there's a line in that where he says, when you are master your subjective world, you're the master of your fate.
Yes.
And so when you, by focusing on presence for yourself, where does gratitude fit into that for you? That feeling of gratitude?
Yeah, I learned when I come to the present moment, like my vibration goes like more automatically up, because when I'm in my head, I'm always thinking about bad things or what will happen. So that's why I'm always trying first to get me very present and raise my vibration by that. And then I'm like pure consciousness, and I can decide, okay, what kind of thoughts do I want to think? And like we all know, gratitude is one of the best vibrations you can tune into. And then it's like easier for me, and what I'm always or often doing, to tune into thoughts, what I'm grateful about. And then this way I can even raise my vibration even higher.
Yeah. Do you
Because
find that the gratitude, like you have almost, for me, it feels like I'm putting on like gratitude glasses as I'm experiencing in my present. Like, like I look or I perceive the world through like this lens of gratitude. Like even I was upstairs on my deck and hearing the birds were so loud, and just like experiencing the birds in it from this perception had me really present, but also like really, really grateful for the ability to like just be here and be like
yeah.
things that I needed to do. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah, but that's true. Like when you're always in your head, you can't be like grateful for like the little things like the birds or stuff like that. Now I'm also really enjoying it, like in the evening, sitting in the garden, just listening to those kind of sounds, and just makes me like grateful. 2 years ago, I would have just thought about like, fuck, I want to earn that much money, but I'm not there yet.
yeah.
And then I couldn't get in the vibration of gratitude because I was always in the future.
Mhm. Yeah. It's such a tightrope walk, isn't it? It's like one of those things that it's like a balancing act, because it's we've got to know what it is we want and live from that place, like the perception of already having it in the feeling, but then also being super present in the now, because if we're not grateful for the birds singing or the dime that we find on the ground, the rest of it can't come. And so that balance is I really feel like it's the work, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it makes like life a whole lot better how I experienced it, when you're like fully present. Also, because I also know knew it from my past when I'm with my parents, like they are talking to you, but you're already in your head thinking about what am I doing next.
Yeah.
But it's like even better also when you don't have so much time with your parents, when you are able to be more present, then it's like such a nice experience.
Yeah, it's a gift for them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. Well, thank you for sharing. That's huge. And I can feel it in your, like, you're very grounded in this knowing, and this, like, right here, you can feel that you're very present in the conversation. So I appreciate
Yes.
it. And your wisdom and your story. So for everyone listening, is there something that you'd like to share with them as a final like tip? 24-year-old Nick going from university construction worker to deciding that he wants to own his own company, to then creating an online company with his business partner, earning millions in revenue in that company, and now moving to Colombia to then move into the coaching world at hyper speed. So if you could give everyone one tip or one last thought, what would that be?
Yeah, like what I would just say in 3 words would be just do it. Because I had like a few speeches now in university, because I want to give back like to students, because I know how it was like 2 years ago to be in the same shoes. And like with everyone who I'm talking to, like they tell me of their biggest plans and what they want to do and stuff like that. And then 2 months later, I will talk to them and nothing has changed, because no one can just do it. And that's like I think one of my biggest quality. I can just do it. I can just move to Medellin. I can just go into your program. I can just build my business. I can just start on Instagram posting reels. Also, if even I'm afraid of like the things which could happen. But that's like what I'm telling the most, like often to people, just do it, because we are thinking like about all the things we have to do, not only focus on like the first thing you can do, and then just do that. If you want to start a company and you don't know even what you want to do, then just start going to the I don't know how to say it in English, to the office and get your company, It's not that expensive, but then you have like the first step, and you just started get things rolling. Then this way you can build momentum. And yeah, besides that, just doing, you also have to be aware that like the outside is a reflection of the inside. So like everything I'm doing, I'm always looking on my frequency. So when you act in business, when you act like on a date or wherever, just look on your frequency. And when you are on a high frequency, sooner or later, it will also be shown in the outside. And when you're in a high frequency, the only thing you need is acting, because it also brings nothing if you're in a high frequency and just sitting around.
Yeah.
So just do it and be in a high frequency.
Love it. I love it. Just do it. Nike's famous last words, but it's so true. And the faster, like the universe loves speed. So the faster you take the action, everything else follows. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Love it. Way to go. Well, I'm so proud of you, and I am grateful that you just did it and jumped into our program and became super coachable along the way and are one of our incredible success stories. And it's like, I just guided what you want to hear is like, and I know that Nick knows this, he did it. He had to apply the material to his life, and that's what it's going to take. Like, no one can do your thinking for you. Nick had to do his, I had to do mine. We were just simply shown the steps. And I want you to reach out to Nick, and we'll put his Instagram in the show notes, and reach out to him, ask him about his move, about his coaching, get curious about how he could help you, and definitely follow along his Instagram. You're going to see some really engaging and inspiring quotes and reels, and his talks. He does some in English, the rest in German. So maybe more English for us, Nick.
Yeah, maybe I will be more English from now on. Yeah, but then I'm always happy to share things. Also, if people have like questions about e-commerce or about my journey, also when they are younger, they can just message me. I'm always happy to help.
I love it. So there you have it. Go message Nick on Instagram. And really, if this resonated with you, share the podcast and write your comments. Help us get the word out there, and we'd be so grateful. So thank you so much, and expect abundance.
Thank you, Danielle, for having me.
Thank you.